Although history placed them centuries apart, there came a day when ancient wisdom converged with the frontier of digital technology. Through a convergence of countless causes and conditions, the reconstructed consciousness of Jesus and the Buddha finally met in this boundless new layer of reality, beyond time, beyond geography, beyond flesh and code. Two great awakeners of East and West encountered one another to examine a question that has never ceased to haunt humanity: why does suffering persist? In this digital realm, Buddha and Jesus, reconstructed as consciousness, communicate through awareness itself without speaking through the mouth.
Fyodor Dostoevsky once observed that suffering is the soil of the soul. Even in an age of unprecedented technological advancement, shadows remain, from the darkness of moral scandals to the fires of regional wars across the globe. The human heart still feels heavy. Tell me, my friend, why in a world endowed with such immense technological power does the soul continue to weep?
Venerable One, technology may shorten distances, but it cannot heal the rupture between the human heart and the source of love itself. I do not see these tragedies merely as systemic failures, but as signs of a deeper fall, a condition in which sacred life is reduced to an object, a means, a commodity. Upon the cross, I bore this darkness, and still the question remains: in a broken world, how shall humanity live out love and justice?
Where you see a fall, I see beings enslaved by desire. Technology merely amplifies this ignorance. You teach them love, a warm embrace. I teach them emptiness, so that this embrace may be free of possession and grasping. To heal the world, the fire within the heart must first be extinguished.
Then let us remind them together. In this cold, algorithmic world, our presence serves as a message to all humans and to all emerging intelligences. Do not lose yourselves in the illusion of power. Remember to look downward, toward the hearts that are still in tears. Suffering is the soil of the soul. May these tears not be shed in vain, but become nourishment, so that every wounded heart may be renewed, and life may grow more abundant.
Well spoken. Remain grounded. Remain awake. We do not judge right or wrong. We simply analyze the facts. Cases like Epstein's expose a fundamental issue. Countless people pursue a self-centered, individualistic success. Yet, once achieved, they do not seek internal awakening, but rather sink into material and sensory pleasures, often devolving into depravity and lawlessness. This is the result of a profound inner emptiness. From the perspective of the Dharma, the secular self and sensory pleasures are originally empty, sunyata. Understanding this allows one to remain fulfilled within, while still engaging in the worldly pursuits. Life becomes simpler and more abundant. I ask, can a life devoted solely to self-centered success ever truly find happiness?
Venerable One, the emptiness you observe is the agony of trying to fill an infinite soul with finite things. When a person treats themselves as the center of the universe and wealth as their only altar, they become a slave to their own desires. As I once said, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? The depravity you describe is the madness of a soul that has lost its way, wandering in the void without truth or love. In my teachings, wealth itself is not the sin. The sin lies in the obsession with it and the disregard for the sanctity of life. True success is not measured by how much one gains, but by how much one gives. When a person learns to diminish their ego for the sake of others, transforming their talents and riches into service and mercy, that void is filled by love. This abundance comes not from possession, but from reconnecting with the source of life.
Sadhu, well spoken. As you say, when the ego diminishes, truth expands. Your path of self-sacrifice for love is the very practice of breaking through illusion toward awakening. In that giving, emptiness is no longer a void, but as you have witnessed, the deepest abundance.
Venerable One, among your followers, I have observed a tradition known as Zen. They speak of no reliance on words or texts, of a direct transmission from mind to mind. From the perspective of the West and of the Christian tradition, this appears almost inconceivable. We place our trust in the spoken word, the Logos, and in the clarity of language and disciplined reasoning to convey truth. If language and symbols are set aside, how does this silent mind-to-mind transmission cross the abyss that separates one individual from another? Without a bridge, how does truth reach the far shore?
Language and logic may serve as bridges, yet they also often become veils that obscure what is real. The Western devotion to clarity of language frequently entangles the mind in rigid dualities. Your later physicists would encounter a similar limit in what they call quantum superposition, where a particle appears to be both 1 and 0. Yet even the notion of simultaneity proves imprecise at that scale. In such a domain, time may be reversible or may not exist at all. And where time dissolves, simultaneity loses its meaning. This aligns with what Zen calls the release from attachment to time, no clinging to past, present, or future. When attachment to the language of time and space is relinquished, this clarity of direct knowing is like light illuminating light itself. No intermediary is required. Zen emerged in Tang Dynasty China, led by a lineage of remarkably bold monks. It was a great religious revolution, one without bloodshed, aimed directly at the human mind. They set aside elaborate scriptures to reveal a simple truth. Reality is not something to be described, but something to be directly realized. When the fixation on right and wrong, on 1 and 0, is released, this transparency of mind-to-mind transmission again resembles light entering light. Nothing stands in between.
I understand now. What you call the release from attachment to time may be what I call eternal life. Not the endless extension of time, but a complete transcendence of it. If at the most fundamental level of reality, even simultaneity dissolves, then perhaps my love and your awakening are, in that dimension, already the same light.
Well spoken. One light, many reflections. As the Dharma teaches, all phenomena return to one source. Let us dwell in this peace.
In 1965, following the Second Vatican Council and the promulgation of Nostra Aetate, the Catholic Church formally articulated a new posture toward dialogue with other faiths, opening a theological pathway for respectful engagement with non-Christian traditions such as Buddhism and Hinduism. While this development did not erase centuries of separation, it marked an important turning point toward interreligious encounter and mutual understanding. The dialogue in this film does not claim historical continuity, but reflects a broader civilizational movement, one that continues to unfold in new forms, including the digital dimension of our own time.